Let's face it, the cost of homeownership in Canada is undeniably high. If you're aiming to own a home down the road, it's vital to make the most of every opportunity to position yourself favorably in a real estate market that can be tough to crack. And one thing that more Canadians should consider is opening a first home savings account. So if your goal is to buy a home in the next 15 years, you're in the right place. I'll provide an overview of the first home savings account, how it works, and why it might be a smart move. My name is Jessie McLellan, and I'm a realtor here in Oshawa, Ontario with the Lisa Abbott Team. I make videos about our real estate market, usually with a focus on the Durham region and GTA, and I also make videos like this that have tips and information to help people who are looking to buy or sell a property in the near future. If you like this video, I would appreciate if you would give it a thumbs up, and if you want to stay up to date on our real estate market, consider checking out my other videos and subscribing to the channel. Now let's dive into what the FHSA is all about. An FHSA, or the First Home Savings Account, is a savings account registered with the government that's intended to help Canadians save for their first home. It was announced in 2022 and recently came into effect in April of 2023. In some ways, it's similar to an RRSP, and in other ways, it could be similar to a tax-free savings account, combining some of the benefits from both. Similar to an RRSP, contributions are tax deductible. So if you earn $65,000 a year and contribute $5,000 to your FHSA, your taxable income for that year becomes $60,000. And withdrawals from your FHSA are also tax-free as long as they're used for the purchase of your first home, but I'll explain the withdrawal requirements in a minute. To open an FHSA account, you must be a Canadian resident that is at least 18 years old, and you must be a first-time homebuyer. But what they consider a first-time homebuyer is someone who did not own a home the year they opened the account, and they did not own a home in the 4 years prior. So if you owned a property 5+ years before opening the account, but do not anymore, you're still eligible to open an account. And I actually appreciate this rule because if you owned a home 10 or 20 years ago before the market really took off, you might have sold it at some point with the intention of maybe buying back in again in the future. But once the prices started increasing so quickly, that may not have been seen as an option anymore. So in scenarios like that, there's no harm in being a little flexible with the first-time homebuyer label. When it comes to depositing money into your first home savings account, you have a maximum contribution amount of $8,000 each year, and you can hold up to $40,000 maximum in your account. So if you maxed out your contribution room each year, it would take 5 years to max out your total room in the account. However, if you contribute less than $8,000, your remaining contribution room carries over to the following year. So if you contribute $5,000 one year, the following year you can contribute $11,000. So the sooner you open an account, even if you can't contribute much, the more room you'll be able to accumulate for when you are able to contribute more. And the contributions are tax deductible. Unlike an RRSP though, it's only on contributions made during that calendar year. RRSPs allow a buffer time of 60 days into the new year to make contributions that are tax deductible from the year prior, but the FHSA does not have that buffer. So contributions made in the first 60 days of the year are not deductible in the previous year's income tax return. Your money in the FHSA can be placed into the same investments as an RRSP or TFSA account. So that includes public stocks, GICs, and mutual funds. And when it comes time for you to withdraw your money from your first home savings account, as long as the money you're taking out is used to purchase your first home, it remains tax-free. The requirements for withdrawals are that you have a written agreement in place to purchase a home by October 1st of the following year. So if you pull the money out a little early in the process and maybe it doesn't come together as quickly as you thought, or if you had to delay for a little bit, you have a fair amount of time to find a property and have an agreement in place. The other requirement is that it must be your primary residence. So this cannot be used for an investment or rental property and cannot be a leisure property like a cottage. However, if you were to purchase a home with a legal second unit, such as a basement apartment, as long as the property is your primary residence, that's totally allowed. And with mortgage costs being so high, many people are looking for mortgage helpers and to buy a home with a legal basement apartment to help them qualify for a higher mortgage. So if that's something you're considering, that's totally okay, as long as it's still your primary residence. If you have to make a withdrawal that does not qualify, that money is taxable and it doesn't restore your FHSA contribution room either. So it's important that unless something unexpected comes up or there's an emergency, that your money that you deposit into your FHSA remains there until you're ready to purchase a home. And there is an expiry limit on this account. You have 15 years from the day the account was opened or until you turn 71 years old, whichever comes first, to use the funds to purchase your first home. If your account reaches expiry, then the funds will be rolled over into an RRSP and they become taxable. Transfers between RRSPs and FHSAs are generally tax-free if done directly and within the FHSA participation room, but I would also advise you to speak with your accountant or someone at your bank for clarification before you make any transfers. And last but not least, some of you may be thinking that that's great, but wasn't there always some kind of plan for first-time buyers? And the answer is yes, but there are some differences, and I'll put them on the screen now. So to summarize, the homebuyers plan allows you to take out $35,000 tax-free from your RRSPs to put towards the purchase of your first home. And the main differences are that the first home savings account has a higher cap of $40,000 compared to the $35,000 in the homebuyers plan. And the $35,000 needs to be repaid to your RRSPs within 15 years. Otherwise, it will be included in your income and taxed. And starting in the second year, you'll have to repay a minimum of 1/15 of your withdrawal amount every year. But this doesn't make the homebuyers plan obsolete. Someone who wants to buy sooner and earns a higher income might prefer to use the homebuyers plan as it's from an RRSP and would allow them to contribute a higher amount to the RRSP and withdraw from that already accumulated money instead of being capped at $8,000 each year. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope to see more people taking advantage of this account. I know it doesn't all of a sudden fix the affordability issue we face with the housing market, but every little advantage helps, and I hope this helps you take a step towards the purchase of your first home. If you have any questions, leave a comment below or feel free to book a call with me using the link in the description. I'm happy to chat with you, whether it's questions about this video or about buying a property in the Durham region or surrounding areas. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one next week. Bye!